Okay, so I'm Michael Ellis. I am a graduate student in aerospace engineering, pursuing my PhD. I actually started at Georgia Tech in 2003 in undergrad. So I've done both undergrad and grad at Georgia Tech. In undergrad, I double majored in aerospace and computer science, and now in grad school, I've got my master's in aerospace and working on my PhD. The idea is that SGA represents the student body. One of our primary purposes actually is in the allocation of the student activity fee funds, which is about $5.5 million, I think, this year. I think we could easily be a yes machine where it's just like, people submit something and it becomes yes. But because we have so many people from so many different backgrounds and departments and things like that discussing these finance requests, or not just finance requests, but also resolutions on other issues, we can sort of, have more interesting dialogue. One of the biggest things we do is allocate money, right? And I'm not saying money is the solution to everything, but that's one way of dealing with things. So a student can, not necessarily directly through SGA, but can through other Georgia Tech means create an organization and sort of start whatever idea they're working on. And then at some point, though, if they need money to help them out, SGA is the avenue to get that money. And it's again defined like the U.S. government, where there's elected officials and appointed officials and things like that. So we have graduate students that are in the Senate, which is, I'm a senator representing my academic department, which is aerospace engineering. And then at the executive level, we have an elected president along with the vice president. Both grads and undergrads have a president. So at the executive level, they're sort of separate. But then where we kind of come together is at the legislative level. And just like in the U.S. government, we have a House of Representatives and a Senate. And the graduate students are the senators, and the undergrads are the House of Representatives. So within the Senate, technically everyone is equal. The only differentiation that happens is sort of, just if you've been there a long time, or you sort of proven yourself in terms of speaking up a lot, or you take on a lot of responsibilities and sort of earn respect. And that's sort of, I guess that's where the politics enters SGA, right? Like, is where, no one's going to listen to you if you haven't sort of earned respect. I mean, we have sort of codified values in terms of like a constitution and bylaws that sort of define our purpose, our limitations, our responsibilities, things like that, to prepare them. And we make sure they have access, obviously, to our, constitution and bylaws. And then we have a sort of a training session where we get everyone together and try to do it with some sense of community, like pizza or whatever. More importantly, it's sort of on us individually to pass on the torch and to train and instill the values. For student organizations to submit their finance requests to SGA, and there's a whole process involved with the different steps in creating the bill, finding authors, having them sign the bill, and then the bill goes through 3 sort of different processes where they meet with a joint finance committee, which reviews the bill and makes recommendations based on our policies. And then it goes to the Senate, and then it goes to the House, and then it could go to conference committee, and then finally it's voted on. And then after that, certain individuals have to sign the bills to sort of executively to authorize the expenditure. I don't know that there's a lot of communications failure there, but after a decision has been made, then there's accounting that has to happen. And I think we've had some issues there with making sure that the decision we made is being represented in how the money is being dispersed. So we've had to deal with some larger student organizations that didn't necessarily have the best accounting practices, and due to a lack of transparency on really both of our ends, it wasn't discovered until later. But as a result of that, we created some new processes and procedures to make sure that didn't happen again. And it was a significant issue, but at the end of the day, it all got resolved, and we don't expect to have that kind of problem anymore. So I guess there was a lot of organization that happened in response to this communications failure.